Well, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make another spinner. Kind of got on a spinner kick here. The more I play around with them, the more ideas I come up with. This one we're going to make today, I'm going to call it the Circle of Colors. And what we're going to do, we're going to create, I'll show you here just on a little quick sketch here. We're going to have our down wire here. Our hanger will be right here. And right here we're going to have like a 2-inch circle. This will be 2 inches. And then out here we're going to have a 10-inch circle with a 3/4 inch ring right here. And we're going to break this up into sections like this. And we're going to it'll come across here like this. We're going to put a colored glass in all of these 6 spots. Out here we're going to use a granite iridescent glass to go around. And we're going to make 3 of these. This one here we're going to make all together, and the other 3 we're just going to make them as half circles. And so when they go together, or this is the theory of it, when they go together, turn this over here real quick. When you're looking at it from the top, it's going to look like this. You're going to have one circle here. This will be our main one. This goes all the way around. And then we're going to have a circle that comes off of here. One that comes off of here. This one here looks like it's going to look like it runs all the way through here. And this one here is going to run all the way through here. And this is going to be at 60 degrees. We'll use our 60-degree triangle to space these out. So anyway, this ought to be an interesting project. And then when we get ready to put this together, I have a 60-degree jig that we use for the solar lanterns and also for the light tower. So we'll solder these together on that, and then we'll solder them to this main body right here. So anyway, as we start to move along, this will probably make more sense. Right now it kind of looks a little confusing, but this is the idea, so we'll see how it comes out. So to get started, I'm just going to draw out the plan right here on our work table. I have a piece of drawing paper. I have our carpenter square here. Here again, if you're watching my videos, I have my ruler here with all the numbers in it. I use this in place of a compass because I can make great big circles if I want to. So we got our drawing paper here. I'm going to hinge it back here. I've got a manila folder that we're going to take and we're going to set it in here. We'll take a couple pieces of masking tape here, and we'll tape that down just like that. And then we're going to put some carbon paper in here. Here again, carbon side down, so it'll transfer onto our paper. And you can just use this carbon paper over and over and over. Set that in there like that. Bring back our drawing paper. Pull it down tight. I'm going to tape it here in the bottom with a couple more masking tape right here. And we'll do it right here. Then I'm going to take our carpenter square up against the backstop on my work table. And I'm going to come here and find the center of this, and I'm going to make a down line. And from there, we're going to use a 45-degree triangle. This is a great big one I have. So we're going to take and we're going to line this up, kind of eyeballing the center here, about right here. Maybe we better measure it so we don't mess this up here. That'll be good right there. Come across here like that. And then I'm working on a homozoid board, so I'm going to use a metal push pin. These are 5/8 inch long with an aluminum top on them. And I'm going to take this ruler here, and because this hole right here has gotten worn out, we're going to come down here to this mark right here, and we're going to take it, we're going to insert it right in our crosshairs right there. I'm going to use a little socket wrench that I have. It's 5/16 across the web, which actually works perfect for these push pins when you want to push them down really tight. You just put them in like that. So I'm going to make this one here 2 inches in the center here. So we only need a 1-inch circle, or a 1-inch mark here. Comes around here. And then we're going to come out here. We want to make this outside circle 10 inches. So we're going to measure this. We need to come out 5 inches. So I want to be sure I get the right mark here. So 5 inches is right here. Come on around with this. And I said we're going to put an iridescent one in here, a 3/4 back. So we'll come right here. That's our circles. We don't need any of that stuff now. So we'll bring our carpenter square back in here. We're going to take our 45-degree triangle. We're going to make this 6 panels. We could make it just 4, which would be just like this. I have one here, and we'd make one here. But we're gonna put one across here and one across here. I don't know if the colors will interfere with each other when we go with 6. But we'll give that a try. Keep that in mind. If you want to, you could just make it with 4 panels, and we'll see how that works out. So anyway, this is going to come right here. You come across your cross line here, and we're going to just take and we're going to draw this up to here, up here. Take your triangle here, move your square back down here. Take your triangle here again, go on line right against the center right here. Come here. And we're going to come down here like that. Now, like I've done in all the other projects we've done, I'm going to mark some grain arrows on here. I'm not going to do it all online, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to put some arrows here, and we're going to number these. And so we're going to start out here with this one right here. We'll make that number 1, number 2, and we'll go on around. But on the arrows, the reason I'm doing that is that the glass has a grain to it, or a direction. And I want to make all the directions go upward, just like this. So I'll go offline, I'll number the rest of these, put my directional arrows on it, and then we'll come back and we'll show you the pattern real quick. And then we'll get ready to make this. So we'll be back in a minute, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. We got our pattern all numbered and got our directional arrows on it and so forth. So we'll pull this apart real quick. I'll just show you what the pattern is going to look like. Before I cut the pattern apart, I'm going to take this section right here, which we just drew right here. I'm going to take that in and put it on my copier and make a couple of 3 copies so that we'll have new pattern pieces for the 2 that we're going to, for this one, this one, this one, and this one. I don't want to draw it over and over and over. And sometimes when you use the patterns, especially, I'm just going to glue them down with a glue stick. Sometimes they get ruined, so I'll just put this on a copier and make 2 or 3 copies of it, so we'll have plenty of pieces to work with. So anyway, this is going to hinge back. We'll move our carbon paper, and here's our pattern right here. And this is another one of my cut and stack ideas. So we're going to just cut this with a regular pair of scissors. If it grows a little bit, we don't really care because it's not going to go anywhere. It has no fixed place that it has to fit into. So I'll go ahead and get the copies made of this on a manila folder, just like this. And we'll go ahead and pull this off here. Get that out of the way. Then we're going to bring our drawing back now, and we're going to build right on top of this. So if you've noticed some of the other videos, we've done the same thing. After a while, it gets kind of messy, but we'll keep working with it. So just going to take a couple pieces of masking tape here, pull it down nice and tight, tape it down to my Homasoit board, and then we'll get ready to go. So when I come back, we'll go ahead and we'll start right here in the middle. We've got a little plug that I made. This is on Masonite. It's 2 inches around the diameter. That'll go right here in the middle here, and we'll put that right down there in the center. And we'll use our push pins to hold it. And then we'll come in here and we'll start to build this out. and we'll show you how to do it. Okay, we're back here. We got our pattern all cut out now. So anyway, we're going to get ready to build this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our center section here. So we'll push the pattern pieces all away. We don't really need them right now. And we're going to pick these all up. Get those out of our way. Now here in the center here, this is a 2-inch circle here. So I have a little cup here, and it happens to be 2 inches in diameter. So we're going to take and use our RU70 cane right here. This is our lead cane. It's flat on the back, has a crown across here. And so what we're going to do, in order to find out how big a piece of cane we need for this, I usually just take a little piece of string, and you can just take and hold it on here, wrap it around. I usually lap it over a little bit so that we have plenty of room here, and then just take and measure the length here. That'll give you plenty of room to get that to work. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to set it in here again with the channel facing out. And this little cup happens to have a little mark right here, which makes it nice for us. So we'll just line that up on there, and we'll just take and we're going to bring this right around. And I'm going to push this on around. And I want to let this go on by, just like that. And then we're going to bring this other one around. And you can see here I cut this long enough so it can lap over. And the reason I want it to lap over is because a lot of times when you get right to the end here, this wants to go straight, and it gets a little difficult to get the right smooth curve. So push that down tight. This is going to go right in here, just like that. You can see here where they cross over each other. So we'll take and do a preliminary cut right here. And down here we'll do the same thing with that one. We'll just take our lead dikes. We're going to come in here, this one right here, with the smooth side facing in. And we'll take and we'll cut this right here. Then we'll come back and we'll do the same thing here. Just push it over. Cut it right there. Then we'll set this down in here. We'll straighten it back up. Just like this. Take your push pin, push it in here real tight against our plug in the middle here. Pull this one here out. Bring this one around. Take your time on this. You want to make it nice and tight. And when you get it right into this section right here, take and mark it right here. Just pull it back out just a little bit. If this pin's in the way, take it out. Pull this out here. Smooth side. Line it up on your line. Make your cut. That looks good right there. All right. Now bring this one on around here. Just let it go up over the top of it here. Okay, it looks like it needs to be cut back right about right here. I'm going to leave it a little bit long, and we can kind of sneak up on it as we go here. Well, that was a pretty good wild guess there. Bring it on around. Take a little piece of your form wood right here. Take and push this in. Right like that. Push them in tight together. Just take and put your pin in it here to hold it. It makes a nice tight joint right here. Now what we're going to do with that, we're going to take and tack solder that to hold it together for us. So we'll get out our solder here. Get our little stainless steel brush right here, and we're just going to solder it real lightly right here. Put a little flux on it right here. Take your iron. You're just going to tin it. Just like that. Just very, very lightly. Now we're going to take this out. Pull all these pins out of here. Take it out and turn it over. See how nice it fits here? We'll just put a couple pins in here just to hold it real quick. Now when you solder this little circle together here, don't put too much solder in it, because the solder will go around inside the U-came and it'll interfere with your glass when you get ready to put it in, and you have to somehow figure out how to get it out of there. Sometimes you can get it out with an X-Acto knife, or maybe you even have to put a file down in there to get it out. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to take this, just wipe it down just a little bit. You want the inside of your channel to look like this, where it's clear in here. Now, this one here, what we're going to do here, we're going to take it and we're going to rotate this right here. We're going to rotate it over to this mark right here. And right here, and right here, we're going to drill a 1/8 inch hole. And then that's where we're going to run our brass tubing down between here. Okay, those holes, and when I come back, we'll take it and we'll pull this plug out of here and put our brass tubing down here. Before I take this out though, I'm going to, so I'm sure that I get it back exactly where I want it. I'm going to put some stick pins. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to put about 4 of these in here. Push this down. If you don't do this, it gets really difficult to get this back in the center. So push this down like that. So now, when I take this out, when I slide this out of here, I'll just push it back in here and it'll be right where we want it to go here. Just a little caution on that, so that you don't pull it out of there and then you can't get it lined back up. Because it's important that it's right in the middle, because otherwise the circle is not going to be round. Get these out of here. Okay, so now we're just taking pull this out of here. So here we're just taking pushed our plug out. Now we're taking drill right here and right here. So I'll go offline real quick and drill that, and then we'll come back and we'll put our 1/8 inch brass tubing in here, and then we'll go on and we'll get ready to cut the glass for this. I'll probably cut the glass offline. Everybody's watched us on other videos cut glass, so you probably got the hang of that by now. We're going to do this one a little different than I talked about before. What we're going to do, we're going to alternate. We're going to put an iridescent here with a colored one here. Then we're going to put a colored one here with an iridescent. Here again, iridescent, color, and then color and iridescent. Go all the way around. The reason I think I'm going to do that is because when I stack these two on the 60-degree angle, I'm afraid that these colors, if they don't have something clear in between them, they're all going to blend together and may kind of make a very difficult for the light to get through. So we'll give this a try. We'll see how it comes out. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back here. So now you can see we've drilled the holes through here. So our brass tubing is going to go through here. And then we're going to take this just like this, and we're going to slide this back into these pins here, so that gets us in the middle here. Now, this line right here is, we want this to run up and down right on that line, so we can rotate this to where we want it, like right there. Bring the tubing down here. And I've got a piece of piano wire inside the tubing. That helps make it have some strength to it while we're working with it. So you can rotate this so you get it right where you want it, right here in the middle. And then what you do is right here in the center of our circle, come in here with a couple pins, one on each side here, and then put one right here. That'll help hold that straight. And then down here, I'm going to go on the outside here. I'm going to put 2 pins here. And I'm going to put 2 pins here. This keeps our brass tubing straight up and down so that we'll be right in the middle where we want to be. So I'll go offline, I'll get this glass all cut up, and when we come back, we'll show you how we're going to put it in here. We're going to run a double H-came down here to hide this right here, and then we'll build on out. So we'll be back in a minute. I'll get the glass cut up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, well, we're back. We got all our pieces cut now, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it together, and we're going to start right here at the top here with number 9, and we'll just take our pin out of here. Number 9 is going to go in here. Slide it down. We've got a piece of H-came here. The H-came we're using for this project is RH9. It's a little hard to find, so if you're having trouble finding it, you can use RH8. It's kind of its sister came to that. Here again, put a little piece of the old U-came here on the edge so you don't chip it. Take and bring your H-came down. Slide your next piece down. Set it in here. And just work your way on around here. So I won't go out, I won't finish all the way around. But I just want to show you, we'll get this one side done real quick and show you how it goes together. Then I'll come back and finish this other side up. And then we'll go ahead and put the final wrap around it. Make sure it fits in there right where you want it. We'll put the final U-came wrap around it. Make sure you get your glass up into this slot on the H-came. This isn't down in the slot right here, in the U-came right here. So it's sitting up too high. If you look right here, you see what's supposed to be, this is supposed to come across here. There we go. So if it doesn't look like it's fitting just right, don't go ahead and just keep moving along, because if you start to solder it and it's not where it's supposed to be, you're going to end up having to start over, and that's never any fun. So we'll come on down here. Here we'll put, here again, use your old U-came and a pin here to hold that. And we'll put our last piece in here. Goes in just like that. Put your H-came around. We'll put a number 4 in here. Make sure it fits nice and tight. There you go. Take and get our last one in here right like that. So this is the connection you want it to have. You want these to be coming right together, so when we solder this up, it'll be nice and round. When we come back, after I get the other one in here, when we come back, we're going to solder all this group here, and then we're going to wrap the outside. And the outside is going to start, we're going to drill a hole in it, and it's going to come around here, and it's going to stop here on both sides. And then we'll match the sides up and solder it, and then this first one will be done. This is the main part. The other two that we're going to make, they're going to go here on a 60-degree angle, and they'll go across here. So when we solder this, we're going to solder this real lightly, because we don't want to get a bunch of big bumps in here. So when we get the other ready to put the other one down, it'll be up and down. It won't sit down smoothly. So we'll be careful when we solder that to be sure we don't get a big bead on here. So we'll be back. I'll finish this up real quick, and come back, and we'll get ready to solder this up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap the outside, and then we'll be done with that. On the video, that's all we're going to do on the video. I'm going to go ahead and make the other half pieces offline, and we'll come back together. We'll show you how to put the half pieces together. The only difference between this one and the half pieces we're going to make, this piece right here, this H-came right here, we're going to use a piece of U-came to come down to this one here, down here. And this circle here will come here. We're only going to use half of this circle to here. So I'll show you that before we start to make the half circles. So we'll be back in a minute after we get this all put together, and we'll solder this up, and then we'll show you how to wrap the outside. All right, we got all the pieces put in now, so we're going to go ahead and solder this up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap that outside edge. So if you watched my channel before, I usually use a little stainless steel brush here, and I'm going to take and brush the joints, knocks off any oil on my fingers or any oxidation on the lead. Move this over where we can get to it here. Just kind of cleans it up a little bit, makes the solder flow just a little bit easier, and especially if it's been sitting around for a while. All right. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and wrap this up and then solder it, but I like to solder. We got a lot of pieces moving around here. It makes it easier if you go ahead and solder it now and then go ahead and wrap the outside edge. So I'm going to go ahead and flux up all the joints right here. I'm using a Classic 100. It's called a gel flux. It's water soluble. It has no odor to it, and it doesn't smoke. So I've had good luck with that for a number of years now, so I've just kind of stuck with that. So that works out pretty good. So again, I'm using my Waller 100 watt. Has a 700-degree tip in it, and so we're just going to tin our iron right here, and we're going to start right here, and we can solder all four of these joints at one time just by sitting it on here like that. Just set it on, hold your solder flat, come around here. I'm just taking off about 1/8 of an inch off the end of my solder. Oops. So we want some nice joints just like that. Here I'm going to do just a little bit of solder, and I'm going to solder this real heavy. Solder that one all right. Got too many pins in here. Get this soldered down here. Here again, we're going to just solder this. Make sure these are all pushed down tight, yeah. Just want to. Like I said, I want to solder that real heavy because I don't want to have a big solder bump there. This one here I didn't get soldered very good, so we'll come back and get it. Now what I'm going to do right here, inside here where my brass tubing's at, I'm going to take and I'm going to flux it right here at the top, right here, and I'm just going to hold my iron on an angle. I'm just going to tin it here. And I'm just going to hold it right against the brass tubing. I'm just going to let it wait until it just goes around the tubing. It just sucks right around it. There we go, just like that. So that'll hold that in place now. Got a couple here I forgot to solder right here. Up here, we're just gonna get just a little bit of solder. I don't want to do that. So we're just taking solder this real lightly here. Come down here and do this one here too. Didn't get that one very good here. Here again, it's a little hard to solder. I've got the camera right above us, so it's kind of hard to reach over there and get that where we want it. Okay, so we got it all soldered up now. I'll just wipe that down real quick. And then we come back, we're going to go ahead and we'll wrap it. And that'll be all done with that one. And then we'll go ahead and we'll make our halves. We'll put them together and the project will be pretty much done. So we'll be back in a minute as soon as I get this all cleaned up a little bit. And we'll get ready to wrap it up. Okay, well, we're back. We got it all back together now. And we got it soldered here. We just need to wrap this in the U-came around the outside here. So to do that, I'm going to pre-bend 2 pieces of U-came. They're going to end right here on each side. And I always like to try to find something that's fairly close to this size. This is 10-inch circle, the upside down bottom of a 5-gallon paint can, such as this, happens to be exactly 10 inches. It's 10 1/4, but it's close enough. So I just took my string. I went from halfway to halfway to find out how long to make it. And it turns out our U-came here needed to be 17.5 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set it right here on the edge here. I'm just going to bring it around here, all the way around tight. Going to bring this all the way around tight here, like that. So we're going to need 2 pieces. So I've got another one right here. This just helps to get a nice smooth form on it. You could just put it on and just bend it around your glass, but I like to kind of pre-bend it to get started with. So we'll go just like that. Now, to right here in the middle here, I've come on the inside here and I've marked a little spot. I'll take and I'll drill our 1/8-inch hole here so we can slide it over our tubing. We'll bring it down here and then we'll take and we'll trim it off here. So I'll be back in a second. I'll go drill those holes. When we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it over to here. So we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. So we got our 2 pieces of U-came now. We've got our 1/8-inch hole drilled in them. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this and we're just going to set it over our brass tubing right here. Get it to feed through here. Just like that. We're going to take out our pin here. Take it out here to about this far around. Get your U-came out of here. Bring this down tight right against here. I'm going to take and I'm going to pin it right here close to the edge. Then I'm going to bring it around just like this. Keep wrapping it around. Take this guy here out of here. Bring it on around just like that. And now, right here, right where this joint is, I'm going to split it right in the middle here. And same way here, pull this down, take it, we're going to cut it right there. So just push it back. Take your dikes for cutting. Here again, smooth side in. Take and line it up on here. Take and make your trim. Bring that over. Pin it. Pin it. Now we're going to come down on the bottom here. And we're going to turn this over. Take these guys out of here. Just like that. Now this one here is a little more critical because you're going to try to match up this area here. Sometimes you have to pick up the glass if it wants to stay down. It doesn't want to get picked up here. There we go. There we go. Push it in all the way. Take and pin it. Make sure you push it down all the way so it's nice and tight. Okay, now where it comes into the junction right here, take and mark that. Here again, I'm going to mark it just a little bit long on purpose because I want to be able to make this fit almost as tight as I can get it to slide in there. So I'm going to take it here again, smooth side. Just a little bit more. Still a little bit more. Still just a little bit more. Looks like this piece of glass right here has dropped down. Pick it up. Okay, we want that to go in there like that. Looks like it's catching down here on the bottom. So this isn't quite straight right here. There we go. Push this down. Pin it real good. I didn't get it quite as tight as I like, but that solder joint will be all right. It's still touching here just a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to take a piece of my form wood here, and I'm going to just take and take it right here, and I'm going to push this in tight, just like that. Take and pin it down so we can solder that. See if we can't get this one on this side just a little bit tighter. Trim it just a little bit. There we go. Coming around here with our pins. All the way around. Here again, I'm going to take my form wood and push that in nice and tight. And take and pin it so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so that's what we want. We want it nice and wrapped, nice and tight. We'll get our soldering iron out now, and we'll get ready to solder this together. So that'll be the end of this one here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll build our half ones. I'll come back and show you exactly what we're going to do with the half ones. So we'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so we're back. I got the soldering iron all plugged in and heated up now. So we're going to take our little stainless steel brush right now. We'll take and brush our joints down. All right, take and tin them, or flux them. All right, take your iron and just tin it just a little bit. And we'll start right here. This one here didn't solder real well because I forgot to flux it. So remember to always flux it. If it doesn't solder real well, you probably forgot to flux it. There we go. All right, so that finishes the circle. So we pull our pins all up. And we'll get ready to turn it over and we'll solder the other side. I'll do that offline so we don't have to watch that go. So there it is, all finished up. So we'll be back in a minute. I'll get this soldered up and then we'll go back and we'll show you how we're going to do the half ones. Okay, well, we're back. We got the center disc all done now. So I got it all cleaned up. So I took and dressed up the edges here. We put the two circles together. So that came out real nice for us. So anyway, we're going to get ready to build the half ones that go in here and the one that goes in here. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to use this same layout, but we'll put this aside right now. We don't need that. So, but what we're going to do here is we're going to take and we're going to bend us a piece of U-came around here, and then we're going to use two pieces of U-came out here. And like we did in the other, when we make this, when we made this first one, we made this circle all the way around. This one here, we're only going to make it a half circle. It's going to go from here to here. So we're here again, we're going to take our little cup. We're going to take a little piece of RU70 U-came, and we're going to put it with the opening side or channel out. We're just going to set it on our cup here, and we're just going to take and bend it around. Just like that. Then I'm just going to set it in here like this, and I get an idea of where I want to cut it. So we're going to take and cut it right here to start with. We'll just take our lead dikes here and we'll just take and cut that right here. Set that in there. And then we're going to bring it up tight against our circle right here. And I'm going to take and cut it right here. And I'm going to cut it just a little bit long to start with, and then I'll trim it back so I get it nice and tight there. All right, that looks good right there. So take our little stick pins or push pins. Push this down to hold this. And then we're going to take a couple more pieces of RU70 U-came, and they're going to go in here. Here again, channel is facing out because we're going to put the glass into it. And we'll go ahead and we'll pin it just like that. Push that down, make sure it's down tight. And then we're going to fill this in. And here again, we're going to do the same thing as we did here. We're going to alternate this just like we did here. So on the first half here, where the blue is now going to be iridescent. Where the iridescent is going to be, we're going to put a color in. And so we'll make these just the reverse of this one. Same thing over here. What we're going to do, we'll build another one. We're going to flip it over. Where this one's iridescent, we're going to put a color, and we'll just build on around. So we'll get those done. So I'll go offline. I'm going to get all these cut out and get them all ready to go in here, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we're going to put this one all together. So the U-came here now will come from here all the way around to here, and that'll create our half section to put it here on our 60-degree angle to make part of our spinner. So we'll be back in a little while, and we'll get you caught up on what we're doing here. All right, well, I want to come back in here real quick and show you. This is the first of the halves that we're going to make. We're going to make 4 of these, and so this one here, when it's done, will go this area right here will go in here on a 60-degree angle and come out. So you can see we alternated this here. Where here the iridescent, we've got colored glass, and where the blue is, we've got iridescent. So we came on around. If you notice the iridescent, I've got it marked with the grain going all up and down. So that just kind of makes it looks a little bit nicer when the job's all done. If you don't have enough glass to do that, you won't notice too much if you shift them around. So I've already brushed these, so we'll just go ahead and solder this one real quick. And then I'll go offline. I'll make the other 3. And when we come back, I'll show you how we're going to put them together as a pair. And then I'll show you how we're going to put them together on the main disc. So I just flux those up. And we're going to just take and tin our iron here just a little bit. And we'll just start right here. Take and just solder this up real quick. These ends right here, we'll just cut those off flat. So don't be worried about those. Make these here, we can solder all these at the same time. So there we are, all done with that one. We'll just turn it over and do the other side. We'll get it all cleaned up. This one right here, you'll notice it's kind of pulled in there a little bit. If that happens, we can just take our brush here. We'll heat this up again. We'll push it back out so that it kind of lines up. There we go. Kind of like to have those lined up if possible. So I'll go ahead and get the other 3 of these made together, and then we'll show you how we're going to put them together on a 60-degree, and then how we're going to attach them to the main disc. So we'll be back after we get the other 3 made, and we'll put it all together. All right, we're back real quick here. We got it all cleaned up now, and we've got it all soldered. So this is the first half circle that we've made. And so if you can visualize this, this is going to go on an angle right here. And it's going to go on a 60-degree angle, which will give you the effect that it's a circle going inside the circle. So it came out very nice for us, so I'm happy with that. And so we'll go along and we'll make the other side, and then the other side will go together here on the angle, and it'll go right in here to create the half of the ball of the circle. So we'll be back, and we'll get it all done, and we'll show you the finished product. All right, well, we're back. We got all of our half circles done now. So the next project is to put them together on a 60-degree angle. So we'll take these 2 and move them out of the way here. And if you watched any of my other videos, you notice I have some jigs made up. This is the one right here. This one here is a 60-degree angle. And it's if you watch the video on how to make the light tower or some of the solar lanterns that are on 60-degree angles, you'll notice that that's how this jig works. So we take our sides, and I have taken them right here on some 80 grit sandpaper, and I've knocked down any edges that are not smooth here. So I want to be sure that where the solder joint goes over, I want to be sure that those have been knocked down. And so this first one is going to sit in here like this. This one here will sit in here on the angle. And then the area you want to work with is right here in the middle here. You want to be sure that those make a nice, perfect V shape. And we're just going to tack solder these right on the edges, and then we're going to turn them over, and I'll show you what we're going to do with them here real quick. So we'll just take and flux this real quick. One here and one right there. Make sure your ends are lined up as good as possible. And we're going to go ahead and take our soldering iron. I'm just going to take and tin it here. Maybe. I'm just going to go right in here and going to just tack solder that right there. And I'm going to do it right here too. Just like that. Then what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take this out, move our jig out of the way, and I'm going to turn this over. And if you look right here, you'll see that there's some gaps going through here, right through here. So I have some little clamps that I've made. These are made out of just regular clamps you use for clamping a group of paper together. And what I did here, normally this little lip right here is turned over like this right here. I've turned them back over to create some fingers. And when you take the fingers and you put it inside the U-came, it'll draw those edges together. Oop. So I'm going to set in here like that. Just move these down. Come over here on this other side. That just keeps the solder from bleeding through on this. And it gives you a little nicer looking job. Although in this particular project, this is going to be covered because it's going to go across our center of our main disc that's all put together. But I'm going to show you how these work anyway. Push them down. And then we're going to turn this over. Now that it's got these edges drawn together real tight, just take a couple little props here to hold this up straight for us. And then we're not going to solder that solid. We're just going to put some spot solders on here, but we'll start right here. And we'll flux this up right here. And then we're going to go from here. So after we get this solder together, we're going to go right here right at this where the circle comes together. We're going to give us a solder joint there, and we're going to go over here and get another solder joint right here. We'll put a couple here in the middle. And out here on the outside edge, we'll put one more right here. Come back here, we'll do the same thing. So that solders those together, and then we'll finish it off right here on the outside edge. So that gives us our first pair. We'll just pull these apart. So now we've got these two put together on a 60-degree angle. Pull them up like this. And the way they're going to work is we bring in our center section. Here's where our shaft's going to go through. These are going to go on right here like that. And they're going to create our 60-degree sprinter. So they'll be sitting on here like that. I'll make sure that they sit down flat before we solder them. And we'll solder them on the inside underneath here. That's where we'll solder them. So we'll go ahead and go offline. I'll get the other pair made, and then when we come back, we'll show you how to do this. Then we'll put a shaft through it and take it outside, take some pictures of it, and we'll be all done with the project. So hopefully you've been following along. So we'll keep an eye on it. All right, we're back. Got my lovely wife out here to give me a hand on the video because she's going to hold the camera because this is kind of tricky right here. This area right here, you can see that I took a file and I smoothed this area down. The reason for doing that is I want the units, the 60-degree units, to sit flat on here. So we're going to try to film this. I don't know how much of this we're going to get here, but here's our 60-degree pieces here, and they're going to sit in here just like this, and they're going to be right in the middle, right here, where this tubing is going to come out here. This is where the wire is going to come out to hang that. And I have some little jigs here that I have. These jigs, I actually use them on my table saw to push things through with, but we're going to set one here, and I have one back here. Bring it up here. And then what I want to check for right here, I want to check and make sure that I've got the angle of this right where I want it, right? This center here, right center line with our pins right there. That looks pretty good. See how we look down here at this end here. So it takes a little bit of fooling around with to get this lined up exactly where you want it. So that looks pretty good right there. Okay, now right in this area right here is where we're going to solder. We'll solder here, we'll solder over here. So I've got it centered now where I want it, right here. So we're just going to take and we're going to flux that just a little bit. right here on the edges. Come down to the other end here and I'll check and make sure that it's lined up where I want it there also. You want to take some time doing this because this is gonna, if you get this off center, it's going to look a little bit goofy when it's spinning. Okay, so I'll put a little couple right there. So I'm going to just take my soldering iron here, and I'm going to come down right here on the outside edge. And I'm just going to tin it right here. I'm going to hold this down here, and I'm just going to put this right in here. I'm going to let that flow off just like that. And then I'm going to come over here and I'll check the other side over here. Straighten it up just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing over on this other side here. Take and solder that. Whoops. Make sure it doesn't move on you. So that's how we want to solder it together. Now we'll go ahead and we'll come down right here and we'll solder another joint right here. Let me wipe my iron off just a little bit here. All right. So we're going to take this right here. We're taking tin it again. And we're going to stick it right in here, let it flow off. Just like that. Okay, so I'll go offline now and get this one here soldered up solid all the way on both sides. And then when I come back, I'll show you how we're going to put this last one on here. I actually have a box that I have a hole cut in it, and this will drop down inside of it, and that'll get us lined up. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. If you can see, I've got this in a box now, right now. So I cut a couple of slots in it to hold it. So this other one's going to go on here just like this. This comes on here like this. We're going to bring it down here. We're going to line it up here again. All right, we're back. We got our project all done now. So you can see that I went ahead and finished it all up. I took and soldered in the open areas here at the top. I apologize for that last little video clip. Unfortunately, I went to move the camera and accidentally put it on slow motion. So we didn't really get to see putting on the last final two here. But they go right here, the two that go right here. They go just exactly the same as these two did here, the two that we put on first. So hopefully you don't get fouled up on that too much. So I filled this all in, and here again, this is the patine we're using. It makes it come out. It has a nice black look to it. Kind of like to patine these because you got some solder joints that are showing here. These guys right here that you've soldered in here. And that just kind of helps hide them a little bit. So anyway, the project looks really, really nice. Happy with the way it came out. So now the next thing we have to do is we're going to have to put our hanger in here. And so I've taken our piano wire and I've taken a propane torch. And I've made it a loop here with our swivel in it. It's got a 3/4 inch split ring on the end of it here. And we're just going to take and we're going to put a set collar. Probably don't really need to do this, but I usually do. We'll put a set collar right here on the top. Have to open up the set screw just a little bit here. Get it to come on. We're going to insert it into our brass tubing here. Comes all the way down and through here. So it comes out the other side here. Now we're going to take and we're going to put another set collar right here. Here again, got to get the set screw back out of it just a little bit here. And then we're going to put our little ball on the end that finishes it up. These, even though they're made of wood, I take and stain them and I spray them with a clear urethane. It just kind of finishes the project off. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a little set collar on the bottom of it, and it doesn't look that nice. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to slide it on here. It has a 3/32 hole on here, so it goes on our piano wire. And then right here at the bottom, move this down here a little bit. Right here at the bottom, we're going to put another set collar on here. You'll notice that this has been bored back here, so this will be hidden. And this just gives us a little added protection, so there's no possibility for this to slide off of our wire and fall on the ground. So it's just a little insurance policy right here. So I'm going to set that on here right flush with the end. Going to insert my Allen wrench in here. These are really little set screws, so you got to, there it goes. Going to tighten it up. Now I'm going to turn it on the short side of the Allen wrench, and I'm going to really give it a nice tight pull. Going to pull this one down all the way tight. Push this down tight on it. Here again, we're going to just tighten this up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to slide this back in through here. And down at the end here, I'm just going to set this set collar just so it has a little bit of end play in it. What I mean by end play is that this rod can move up and down just a little bit. So I'm going to put my Allen wrench in here. Just push it up tight and then pull it back just a little bit. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch in play is plenty. Right here, see that little bit of movement? That's plenty. Tighten it up. And here again, I'm going to use the short side of the Allen wrench so I can get a little more leverage to be sure that I get this nice and tight. And there's our finished spinner right here. So we're all set to go. We're going to take this outside now. We'll take and hang it up, and that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to turn like that. Probably in a pretty good breeze, it'll turn by itself. All right, well, we got our spinner out here in the backyard now. So this one we're going to call the Circle of Colors. And I hope everybody's followed along on it, and hope you'll subscribe to my channel. We'll see you on the next video. So thank you for watching.